Jordan, you put yourself in the thick of it, just kind of assess your performance today.
Yeah, I didn't have my ball striking on the weekend that I've had, my last few tournaments, and it's really hard to go around this place without it. But if you can, the way I did it today was how you do it, making putts and making chips, and it was great. I mean, obviously looking back, not 16 felt like a bogey as well, so it kind of felt like 4 in a row, and that really stinks. But I wouldn't hit any of the putts differently. I mean, I hit my line on every single one of them. I misread, all 4 by just barely, and I didn't look at a board all day. I had no idea where I stood until I was on 17. Then I needed to know what you need to do, and I hit all 3 shots the way I wanted to on 17, and I hit every shot I wanted to on the way I wanted to on 18. So I'm pleased to be back in the thick of things. I hadn't really had a real lead on Sunday late in quite a while, so it's nice to be able to kind of see where things are in those moments and learn from them. The up and downs on the par 3s are what I kind of look back on, but I mean, man, I had 2 putts in a row end up literally behind the center of the hole on the back of the hole on 16 and 17, and there's a lot of times those fall on the edges for me.
Jordan, did you realize, I think at one point you had 10 putts in the first 11 holes, 10 putts in the first 11 holes, or vice versa?
I didn't. I've been feeling this coming. It's been, I don't remember where I was talking about it, but my stats have not told the story on where I'm at in my putting, and this was the most solid I felt putting this week from any range as far as hitting my lines in a long time. And they just trick these greens. They trick the pins out on these crowns, and they just get really, really dicey. And it's really hard to continue to make putts out here. The ones that I did make were the ones that broke a lot. Yeah. And then the knob putts are just so hard. The left center, right center, it could just bounce. There's no friction, and it just makes such a difference.
I know this is a little bit of a twisted question, but obviously you'd like to go fairway, green, 2-putt or 1-putt all the way around, but you're very much a crowd favorite because of the show you kind of put on to some degree. I don't know if you realize it while it's taking place. Phil back in the day used to be stimulated by the way that play. How do you feel about that when it is up and down, but you're making some great saves and tricky birdies?
I would say that the least stress I've ever had was when I hit 17 of 18 greens at Pebble in the final round and won the tournament, and that's what I'm trying to do every single time. I appreciate my ability to not give up and to see a shot where others may not see it, and go ahead and go for it to pull it off, because I have that luxury in my career in what I've accomplished, that I feel like I may as well risk the shot that has the highest reward, even if it bites you a few times. But that's how you continue to win out here. And I just drove the ball when I hit my actual driver. I hit it really poorly this weekend, and it's been a massive strength of mine this year. And I know what it is. I just couldn't fix it in time, and that's what hurt, which made me have to play the golf that you're talking about whenever I had driver in my hand.
Jordan, along those same lines, what is your mood like on 18T, and is there any impulse like, I'm going to take it out on the golf ball?
No, on 18, I actually, that's kind of arguably the most important tee shot. Probably the biggest stroke average, fairway versus not, on the golf course. And I kind of just figured I had to make birdie. I actually felt really calm on 18T. Yeah. And there's no reason to hit it far. You just have to hit it straight. Yeah. And I just tried to put a really good motion on it. And I actually made, funny enough, I made better swings on the back nine than I did on the front today. And it just didn't yield lower scores. And obviously that has to do with making a bunch of putts on the front, making a couple on the back, and then missing some coming down. So I feel really good about where things are. It's no different than how I've been feeling over the last month. This is a golf course that is heavy stress going into pretty much every single hole. And, holes like number 17, I mean, I just hit a flush 5-iron, the exact spot I wanted to, and if the wind's up a little more, I got a good look at birdie. Instead, it's in the cabbage. And that's the kind of stuff that happens here that you hope you get on the other side of that break, and the person who wins today will have found one of those coming down the stretch probably.
When you look at the leader,
I'm sorry, when you're sitting on that beach chair over 17 green, is anything washing out of you so you can get in the mood to play 18?
No, I just didn't want to get on the tee and be standing. I knew we were going to be waiting because the group in front of us had just teed off.
Yeah.
And it was just that I didn't want to get to the tee and wait, and I hadn't written a score down yet.
Yeah.
So I needed to write all 17 scores for
Oh.
Max and myself. So
That's a lot
that
of
was
writing.
really what it kind of worked out well because of that.
When you look at the leaderboard, does it validate kind of what the tour's trying to do with the designated fields? I mean, really the last few weeks, but especially when you have 6 or 7 star players within a shot this late.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how you define who you're defining. If that's number of wins or world ranking or whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure how this will. I think that's more of a afterwards, see how it worked with ratings, and I mean, it seemed like the fan engagement was incredible. But more so, you want to see kind of what impact that has on, on the viewership, and hopefully it's really solid, and then hopefully weeks like this are commonplace, as they have been in the past in these big invitational events. But I don't think this tournament's had this kind of field, and this it's typically a star that wins in this golf course. But yeah, I hope so.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Thanks.